sum of angle measures of a quadrilateral. All right, so we just want to find out what is the missing angle of a quadrilateral, and we also need to know what the sum of the measures are. So down here, they just tell us the sum of the angle measures of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So they just tell us that straight out. So for the past few weeks, we've been working very heavily on triangles, and all the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So there is actually a formula for this. You have n minus 2 times 180. And n minus 2 times 180 is the formula to figure out what all of the angles should add up to in any size shape. So what you do is you take the number of sides, and that's what n means. So you take 4 minus 2, it's always minus 2, and then you'd multiply that by 180. So we have 2 times 180, and we get 360. So that's where the 360 came from. So if we had a six-sided figure, we'd put 6 minus 2 times 180. We'd end up with 4 times 180, and we get our answer. So you can find the angle sum for any size shape, as long as you know the number of sides. So that's just the kind of basics. That's how they did that. But for now, they're just giving it to us very clearly. It's going to add up to 360 degrees. And then they give us 3 pieces, and they want us to find out what's missing. Well, if I know they have to add up to 360, you can see that right here in this equation they write. I'm going to add everything together, and that's going to equal 360 degrees. They added their like terms together, which were just the 3 constants, and they got 232 plus x. They brought x down because they haven't done anything with x yet. And they also brought down equals 360. Then they're not showing you on both sides like I do when I stack it, which I'll show you on the first one when we do. So they're subtracting 230 from both sides. You only see it here on the right side, but they're subtracting it. So they're moving it over. And then they get 128, and that's the answer. So it's not too terribly complicated on this one. So let's go ahead and try it. So here's our quadrilateral. Again, they already told us straight out on the explanation that quadrilaterals add up to 360 degrees. So I know if I add all of these angles together, so I have 94, I have 86, and I have 61, and I also have x. Don't forget x. So I have 4 angles, and they add up to 360 degrees. So if I add these all together, and I'm going to be a little bit lazy here and use a calculator, I have 94 plus 86 plus, did that work out? I want to make sure. 94, that looked perfectly fine. Plus 86, yep, that was fine. Plus 61, and that gives me 241 plus x equals 360. My last step is to just simply subtract 241 from both sides here. 241 minus 241 cancels. X comes straight down, and that's going to equal 360 minus 241, and I get 119 degrees. So my x has to be 119, and they didn't even make me put the degree symbol, and there isn't anything to select, so I should just be able to click check and be good. All right, next one. I think I can probably fit all 3 of these on one page here if I write a little bit smaller. Let's see, I'm going to move my tools up here, so I should be able to fit the next 2 here. All right, so again, we're given a 4-sided figure. We know that adds up to 360 degrees, so we just start adding these together. 92 plus 108 plus x equals 360 degrees. So I'm going to reopen my calculator. I have 112 plus 92 plus 108 equals 312 plus x equals 360. So I make sure I bring the plus x equals 360 down. I haven't done anything with those. All I was doing was combining these 3 numbers. And then I'm going to subtract 312 from both sides, like so. 312 minus 312 cancels. This comes down, so I didn't do my arrow on this one, but I usually do my little arrows for making sure you remember to bring that down. So x comes down, and that's going to equal 360 minus 312. And you don't necessarily need to use a calculator for this one, but hey, if you do, it's not a big deal. So we get 48. So I'm going to type in 48 and check. Yay! All done. One more. All right, let's do this one in red. Okay, so again, we have 4 angles, and we're just going to start adding them together. So this one's pretty simple, I think, and a little repetitive. So it doesn't take too much explaining here on what to do as far as getting started. I'm going to grab my calculator. We're just going to start adding these together. I didn't say this on this one. Make sure your calculator's cleared out, because if you start adding and it somehow grabs what you were adding before, you're going to get the wrong answer. So we have 50 plus 118 plus 87, and that gives us 255 plus x equals 360, and we're going to subtract 255 from both sides. So we end up with x, because 255 minus 255 cancels, equals 360. I accidentally clicked on the screen. 360 minus 255. Sorry, that threw my calculator behind my screen there when I clicked on the screen. So 105 degrees. All right. So we should be golden. Yay! All right, we did one.